Did the Doge dudes, Greg, shatter the Democrat narrative?
I have to hand it to Bret and Special Report. That's like the best thing I've ever seen on this network. It sounds like an exaggeration, but I was. Sorry, Jesse.
Seriously.
Yeah. Waters World was right up there. But if you want to learn how government works and why following the money tells you everything about incentives, self-preservation, fraud, and in this case, patriotism, because all of those guys are not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the country. I'm pretty politically aware. I didn't know about that mine in Pennsylvania until Doge. I had no idea. That's like, you're living in an apartment and you want to go check on the heating. So you go down to the basement and you find an old guy shoveling coal. It is nobody, like I'd say 90% of the population had no idea that existed. And now they do. Everybody's gone through the list, the Social Security, the computer systems, the Treasury with no oversight on payouts. 1.5% of workers have been fired. You could round that to zero. I know it's like somebody, but you're talking a huge number. The money being cut from science is being redirected from administrations to actual science. There's so much stuff there. But I wonder why the attacks, also the arguments from the Dems and then the violence from their minions. I don't think Democrats, I should say that. I don't think leftists are used to people operating from good faith. That a collection of wildly successful people would come together out of pure love for the country to save the country from financial ruin. So they project their own instincts onto everybody else. There must be some ill will that is driving Doge. It's got to be greed. These are billionaires. They could never fathom an altruistic endeavor. And this one is clearly the biggest one in recent history. Also, if you're constantly in drama mode, and I would say all of this is drama mode, acting instead of doing, then you have to believe there's something underlying this Doge performance, because if you're an actor, you act all day and you assume everybody else has a false front too. So they just assume that there must be something going on with Doge that is covering up a more devious thing. But if you look at the Doge segments, analytical, dry, plainly stated, there were no what ifs. There were just what is. And the last thing I'll say about the violence, because we haven't touched on that. When somebody does something that you don't like, oftentimes you don't like the person when you should just not like the thing that they did. And what the left does is it confuses the two. So I could support Doge. You could not like the fact that I support Doge, but you shouldn't hate me for that. What you're seeing is people going after the individuals for their beliefs. I don't like that Elon Musk is fronting Doge, so I don't like him. Generally, as human beings, you don't like the act. You don't go after the person. I believe a famous Christian once said that. I think it was hate the sin and not the sinner. Anyway, this is something, Doge, that both parties, Republicans and Democrats, never would have attempted until somebody named Trump came along and said, why not? We're modernizing the government. It scares the hell out of the corrupt dinosaurs who can feel the heat of this orange asteroid coming at them. And it's Trump.
Wow, corrupt dinosaurs. Take that, Jessica.
And orange asteroids.
And orange
I love